everybody, it's your girl Pajama Life, and today we are reviewing He's Back! Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop, Axel, Foley, House of the Dragon, and the Acolyte. Alright, let's go. Hey everybody, it's Pajama with Pajama Life, and with me are these two characters. Patrick, say hey to the people.
Hey everybody, glad to see you here this evening. Can't wait to talk about these shows.
All right, and our guru of all things Star Wars, David, say hey to the people.
Hey everybody, the heat is back on, and I'm not just talking about the weather. Let's go.
It's on the streets, and here we go. Eddie Murphy is back for the 40th anniversary. Beverly Hills Cop, Axel, Foley.
Did you say Foley? Foley! We stole a helicopter!
Jane, hey, this is your father. Before you hang up, I'm in town. I've been arrested. Hello?
You sure y'all paying y'all's bills? Because this phone don't work.
This isn't my first time in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I saw that. 84, 87, and then 94. But this place has changed a bit.
What brings you back to 90210?
We put our lives on the line. Every day. And for what? Comes with the job if you're doing it right.
Yeah, bitch!
That means we're getting close.
I crashed the fucking helicopter, okay? Got in my head. I haven't flown city. What?
Oh my goodness. David, what did you think of Beverly Hills Cop, Axel, Foley?
You know, I have to say, this was really fun. I mean, it certainly brings you back to the 1980s, including the soundtrack. So for these kind of retro, kind of reminder films, and this isn't the first one that Eddie Murphy has done, straight to kind of streaming, I really enjoyed it. Good cast, fun story. Kevin Bacon is in it. I mean, talk about sizzling heat there, but I loved it. Highly recommend this show on Netflix. Well done.
Okay, Patrick, what did you think?
It wasn't bad. I mean, it was familiar territory. Nothing exciting, nothing new, really. I mean, it was a buddy comedy. We had JGL, which was the best part of it. You know, getting him in there. It was good. Like I said, it was nothing spectacular. It felt like everybody was kind of phoning it in. There was not a lot of innovative. I mean, it was just like every other buddy comedy. I mean, was it better than Beverly Hills Cop 3? Yes. Was it better than 1 and 2? Nope. So, I mean, at best, it was a middling Beverly Hills Cop movie. And I mean, and not to say Eddie Murphy looked great for his age, but you know, you got to understand, you put it up, it was 40 years ago that came out. That guy should be from Lethal Weapon, you know, going around, I'm too old for this shit. You know, he should be going around doing like, you know, the Danny Glover. But he wasn't, so it felt weird. So I don't know. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. I didn't mind watching it. I didn't feel like I lost 2 hours of my life, but I wasn't like going, ooh, wow, that was so good. So it was somewhere in between for me.
Well, it's not Doctor Who for Pat, but that's probably as good as we're going to get with him. Well, I really had fun with it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was good seeing the characters again, although very long in the tooth. And what's crazy is that Eddie Murphy is only a couple of years younger than who played the captain? His captain back in Detroit.
Paul Reiser.
Yes,
Paul Reiser,
yes, Paul Reiser. He's only like a couple of years younger than him. And Paul Reiser looked rough. And John Ashton, I was like, why did they color that man's hair? We know he's great. Come on now. But it was good to see him, and I was hoping, this is my problem with it. Why is Axel still a beat detective? Why is he not head of detectives? Why is
because he wrecks crap everything.
It could have been fun to see him as a chief who then something happens to Rosewood and he has to go out there. But for him to still be on the streets, the same kind of grade as his daughter's boyfriend, kind of pseudo hookup dude, I was like, come on, man, after 40 years on the force, 40 years, I was like, no, they should have moved him on by then. I was just kind of like, that part, I was like, But, okay, so you had to suspend disbelief on that. But Taylor Page as his daughter was a really good addition. She was very smart and funny, and I really enjoyed their messages between the two of them about their relationship, and I really thought that Eddie Murphy really is a talented actor. He's not given a lot of credit, but you could see how he's evolved into just a really great actor. Yeah. And so even though it is, because those serious moments he really did well in. And so Kevin Bacon coming into it, which I read an article, he hadn't ever met Eddie Murphy, even during the time, and they're only a couple of years apart too in age. They're not that far, maybe a year or two age difference. But one thing I noticed was Kevin Bacon looked really haggard at one point, and then he looked like, oh, I went to the spa and I got a facial and I got some Botox and now I look refreshed. And then in another scene, oh, he looked really haggard. So I was like, what's going on with Kevin Bacon? Too much Ozempic. And then, but Luis Guzman, that character, I was like, what is this character? That was just kind of like, well, I don't know about that. But it was a lot of fun. I think it's something, if you don't mind the cussing, it's something the whole family can watch. And they could just like go Beverly Hills Cop 1, Beverly Hills Cop 2, and then Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley, and just eliminate the third mess of a show. I don't know. I kind of hope they do another one. Just because I want to hear Serge go, Ackwell. He's looking a little rough too. But, 40 years ago, this is, I don't know any sequel that's come back and had 40 years of movies for the last of all the series, using many of the same original characters. So Harold Faltermeyer's score was great. Yep. It's the similar music with some new additions. So I thought it was well written. Eddie Murphy wasn't running fast like he was back in the day. He was running like, ooh, my feet hurt. Ooh. Which was hilarious to watch.
Like Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's another Lethal Weapon in the works too.
Is there really?
Yes. And I'm not going to watch it because Mel Gibson could eat a bag of you-know-whats. So, definitely check out Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley. Okay, up next, The Acolyte, Teach Corrupt. Let's take a peek.
Jackson, repeat.
My whole team is dead. There is a much larger threat than we anticipated. Osha, take the wheel.
Yay, Basil!
Hey, black, hey, black.
Hey, it's family show.
Get her, Basil! In your face.
Why do you still think of yourself as a Jedi? What you're feeling right now, this
Okay, I thought he
anger,
was gonna
this
kiss her in
pain,
there.
this is who you are. The Jedi saw it,
Kiss,
and that's why they threw you away. Why aren't you a Jedi, Osha?
Kiss.
Because I failed.
And then they kiss. You notice he threw in desire in there as one of the things that the Jedi's kind of banned. David, our guru of all things Star Wars, what you think?
Well, it seems that the Acolyte is getting a little better in the midway point. It seems to be moving up a little bit, and I think that's really Manny's work. His acting has really, I think, been the strongest thing that we've seen. Certainly from his initial character as the apothecary, now as the Sith, maybe something else, stranger. That's been a real strength here of the episode. I don't get with the Parent Trap, and I called it Parent Trap that first time. Is it with this? So I didn't realize we'd get quite there. I don't understand May's motivation. I'm gonna kill a Jedi. I'm gonna surrender to the Jedi. You get a chance to surrender to the Jedi, and then you fight them. Then you get a chance to surrender to him again, and you're gonna kill Saul on the ship. There's something. Maybe she's just manic. I don't know, but there's something missing there with that.
Mm-hmm.
The Manny's
definitely an explanation.
Yeah, I mean, there are some. He's the best part. Obviously.
Oh no! David froze. Okay.
And what a lovely freezing picture that is.
Like, hey, watch it. Patrick, talk about what you think until David comes back.
It was I did enjoy the fact that they're really trying to broaden out both those characters by showing that they both have good and dark tendencies on both sides. Mm-hmm. You see Osha, getting kind of Sithy there at the end, and you see May starting to have doubts about what she was taught, so they're both saying, okay, look, they're only showing us one side. Both of them are showing us only one side. Mm-hmm. And they both have these ulterior motives. Where's the real, which is, the balance of the Force you hear about throughout the Skywalker saga that they're trying to achieve, which they don't do a great job at, but you start to see it coming back. So there's Dave. We'll let him keep going with what he was going with.
Okay, Dave.
Well, speaking of transmission problems as a very convenient plot device, there I was lost there in mid thought. The back scars on the stranger clearly looks like it might have been made by a whip lightsaber, which we saw with the one Jedi lead. So maybe a backstory there. Her character, Venestra, she's actually a character that was in the comics of the High Republic and some of the stories. So that's a character that apparently is relatively old in comparison to humanoid life. So I think there's probably a connection with those folks. It'll be interesting to see what happens here as we go. Clearly, there's this big leap that they said, well, they were killed by a lightsaber. Saul must have gone crazy. Clearly, a very weird kind of thing there.
I was kind of like, how you just accuse Saul of that? And he's like a teacher and well-respected member. I was like, dude, get out of here.
They're really good at kind of like CYA and finding scapegoats, it seems, with this groupish Jedi here in this. So it'll be interesting to see where we go. I think the story's a little disjointed. Sometimes the character motivation is lacking, but Manny has really given us something strong. This is the first Disney show that I've seen that seemed to imply a little nudity as we're going along.
Yes,
That's
Lord.
a little bit,
yes.
A little bit more of that. So, I don't know what I'm not sure what the demographics are going for there, but it's not necessarily. Look at that girl saying it's to her. I don't even know what to say there. We'll keep watching. But Disney Star Wars television, I think it's very hit or miss, more miss than hit. And I think we're seeing that even with the better episodes of The Acolyte.
I really enjoyed the episode, especially Manny Jacinto's semi-nude scenes. wasn't mad at that at all. But I think that and Basil, he's a little toughy, isn't he? I was hoping he would kick her in the balls or something. But he was, I really like that they are not making his character kind of a scaredy character. He's I think he's a Jedi, right?
No.
He's not a Jedi?
No, like her, he's wearing that civilian robe. He's just a tracker.
Okay, but he's
hey,
but he works
why did
for the
one group
Jedi,
need
right?
a tracker and not the other? I don't understand that part. But
yeah, but he's not a just kitten kind of character. I mean, he's got teeth and claws, and I like that. And I think it's interesting in all of the series, once you know that somebody is evil because the lights associated with anything they're carrying turns red. So when Pip turned red, they did that in Obi-Wan with Lola, and they did it with Pip in this. I just think I like that. I like that there's that through line throughout all the series that you can see. And the but one thing that's starting to irritate me, every week Master Saul says, I'm gonna tell you the truth about what I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I'm like, well, get to it then, man. This is 6 episodes and we still don't have the truth yet. We need to get to the truth. We know what you did. You did something you weren't supposed to do, and now you gotta live with it, and nobody's living with it very well. So this some BS. But if they don't get to it next week, I'm gonna be like, look, Disney Plus, stop dragging it out. You could have had a lot more storyline with the after effects of the revelation of what happened. That should have happened like, what is it, 8 episodes? That should have happened like this episode or the episode before, so you could get the fallout about what's happening. So that part I haven't liked about the series, and really hope that they it better stay in next week, because we all kind of know, but they're dragging it out, and it's not helping the series at all.
No.
But kudos to Basil and Manny Jacinto for their acting and their but the final scene, I won't say what it is. I was like, they're really gonna do that? I was kind of like, I don't know about that. So that was pretty interesting, but I don't know how I felt about it, because I didn't think it fit here. So we'll see what's gonna happen next week. But as we say, we're gonna watch it anyway. So till the end. All right. But definitely check it out. Okay. Finally. Oh boy, it's about to come. The Dance of the Dragons is this Sunday, but we gotta lead up to it with the House of the Dragon. The Burning Mill.
I'm claiming Harrenhal.
Apparently so.
Get to the tree!
You should have just burnt them up. I didn't understand.
No ships, no dragons.
Dragons. Send them all out.
If dragons begin fighting dragons, we invite our own destruction.
And I have to clean up afterwards.
If war can be averted, it is my duty to avert it. I have reason to believe she may be of the same opinion. Rhaenys has counseled me. She said she saw in you a wish to avert the worst of what may now come. A terrible war is looming, and even victory may be so bloody as to be counted a loss. Do not let your pride blind.
There's been no mistake.
Alice.
Oh boy, Pat, tell us what you thought of it since you've read Fire and Blood.
Well, they are building up to a big scene, big battle, which is what they're really trying to do. This felt like a lot of groundwork, trying to get some of the motivation, some of the where the characters' heads are at before this all goes down, because bad things are about to happen. It was interesting to see Rhaenyra's try to talk to Allison. I'm going to sneak in and try to do the right thing. Even though she's going to believe me because she got a dead nephew out there. Clover. It was. Yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would, to be honest. I guess maybe it's just because I thought I'd had such a bad taste left from that last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones that I questioned their ability to do to make as enthralling as Game of Thrones was. Kind of one of those cultural touchstones. Everybody was watching it, and everybody universally panned the last 2 seasons because they felt rushed. They felt inconsistent with character development. This feels a lot better. Everybody seems to be on the right track. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we go with this. I mean, I know where it's going. But I want to see how they get there. I'm interested enough to watch it to see where we're going.
So there is a book, Dance of the Dragons, right? Is that one of the books?
Dance with Dragons is one of the books. I'd have to look what they are. I got them in my bookshelves in there, but it's been a while since I've read them. I mean, they're still good reads. It's not everybody's cup of tea. Yeah. Because the history leading up to the events we watched through the entire Game of Thrones run, they had one book to handle all of that. And that's where it's coming from. Similar to what they're going to do with Rings of Power, where they had the Lord of the Rings, and they had some other smaller things that fill in. They're going to do a lot of expanding, but it works well for both of these type of things because they're so vague and they're 1,000-yard view as opposed to, in the room type of things. So they got a lot of room to work with, and as long as they keep it true to the feel of the first set, I'm really looking. Like I said, this is there are 5 books of the actual Game of Thrones series, and then this one was. There was one book that dealt with the House Targaryen, how they came about, and their whole big thing, which is what this is all coming from. So good stuff, though.
Well, I like that they are taking a whole season to tell a book if they're telling a book. So then it's a little more ripe for telling the story. But I think, Pat, and to your point about the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, is that we don't have those same showrunners here. And so they purposefully did some things because they wanted to be like The Sopranos. And so it was like, and that horrible ending to that series people adored. So, but I mean, if you think about it, people still talking about it a couple of years later. They didn't like it, but they still are talking about it. So on one hand, it keeps it in people's brain, but I don't think people want to be thought of like that. David, what'd you think?
I would have to say of these 2 seasons or season and a third, whatever it is that we've watched, this was my favorite episode of House of the Dragon. I really was drawn into it because I saw in this, and I know they did such a beautiful job, and all of this is like the backstory, and they really brought it to life, is that scene between the 2 old friends there, and understanding all of this came about not out of any ill intent initially, but out of confusion, misunderstanding, miscommunication, and these dominoes are falling, and the anger and the hate and the revenge, and and it's anger and revenge, not with nasty tweets from friends in middle school or high school, but it's with sharp pointy sticks and fire-breathing dragons. But it's like just how easily human beings can kind of fall into real conflict for no good reason at all, and you can't pull back because the die is cast. And that's what we're seeing here, the futility, something is so poignant in all of this. And I just thought it was really well done. It's violent, it's gratuitous, there's a lot of great political stuff, but this coming back to this bad moment in a Three's Company episode where Mr. Roper misunderstood something that Jack said in the kitchen. It's one of those things that's true in human film. It's also true in human history. Man, it just grabbed me at that point. It was like, wow, it really has me here.
Yeah. And I thought the important part of it was when Allison said, it's too late. You know, I can't even go back because now she has to contend with she doesn't have the power. Her son is run off. He's bloodthirsty and wants to prove himself that he can wear Aegon the Conqueror's mantle, but he doesn't have the wits about him to really understand what's going on. And plus,
very Joffrey.
He
reminded me a lot of Joffrey.
Yeah, and just reckless and bloodthirsty, highly insecure, and then that's what plays out. That's what you see is, oh, I'm gonna do this so I can wear Aegon the Conqueror's armor. I mean, you know, that's really what he just wants to wear the accoutrements of a king, but not really understanding what it means to rule the realm. And I love the scene with Daemon at the castle, and the people were like, okay. He's like, no, you have to. They were like, dude, we don't care if you want this castle. Go ahead. We just trying to eat our deer and peas. I mean, that was so funny to me. And that, you know, Larys has once again proven to be the slickest dude in the realm because he was able to get Aegon to stop doing what he was doing just by planting a few words in his ear. So I think that, you know, Sir Kristen may be the hand right now, but I don't think he's gonna stay the hand. You know, I think he's not equipped as well to hold that kind of mantle. And he doesn't have, to me, it doesn't seem like he has the military strategy.
Oh, no.
To be able to really handle that kind of thing. One thing I was confused about was Gawain, Allison's brother. Has he ever been in the episodes before? I was like, who's this dude? I don't remember him from last season at all. Does anybody
remember? I don't remember. I don't remember. I've had a very hard time with the names, to be honest. Who's who?
Yeah, he came in with full of shade, though. I was like, he shaded the dog crap out of Sir Kristen in a few words. I was like, ooh, okay. But I did love the also Masseria, and okay, now that's how you do a political come up. I mean, she was like, hey, I thought you left. Oh no, I want to be in your court now. I thought that was great. But I was like, how you gonna have your husband's mistress as one of your ladies in court? I don't see how that works out.
When your husband's your uncle.
Yeah, but I don't see how. I'm gonna tell you what. Never some side piece of my husband be up in my house, and I'm feeding you and clothing. Oh hell no.
It's good to be the king.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's the queen, so. But okay, explain to me, because I was like, shouldn't he, when he was at Harrenhal, he was demanding that they call him Your Grace. But he's the queen's consort. He's not the king. And I thought Your Grace was only for the queen and the king. Is the consort also? Because if you think about in real life, Queen Elizabeth had to change Camilla's title so that she could be called the queen. And not just the consort, so she could be called Your Grace. So I didn't understand. Pat, did you understand that? Or David, did you understand that?
Well, I'm not positive of how the heraldry and proper forms of address. Obviously, he was very upset that he wasn't being called king. He thought he was getting slighted, but he also might have felt like he could get away with just throwing his weight around to pick your point, because he's in this big castle garrisoned by, it looked like 10 people, of which 8 were old and 2 were women. So he's thinking, well, I can just, yeah, of course I'm the king. What do you mean? Your Grace, Your Grace. Oh, my bad. Okay, you're the Grace. You got a dragon.
Like, whatever.
You got a dragon, and I got 10 people.
Yeah.
Your Grace, glad to have you. That kind of thing. So that was and it would be consistent with his character to always be trying to get more than what he's supposed to have gotten. He's the one that started a lot of the problems, and so he may have just been throwing his weight around to try to, put a little bit of a secondary, a backup plan in case things don't go well,
Well, and as well, his dream, right? I was like, oh, but why was the woman who was at Harrenhal a part of his dream? Because that tree looked like the trees that were in the Game of Thrones with the red leaves and the faces in them. And so I heard there was talk on the net about him being the Night King. And have you heard anything like that or read anything like that, Pat?
No, you're right. It did have a similar look to the Godswood.
Yeah.
That they throughout the first series. I haven't, but I haven't been digging too deeply into the all the different. There's so many different pages you could look at to find things out about this stuff anymore. But I have not. So
that my sister who loves it, she was like, I think he's the Night King. He does have kind of the same build and the same, kind of look almost, but I thought I saw it was in the series somebody else was turned into what eventually came into the Night King, but they could just throw that out and make Damon the guy, so who knows?
You never know.
But a good episode. A lot still going on, and poor Bela. But one thing I wanted to point out: the eggs. The eggs were Daenerys's eggs. If you caught that, if you looked at them, they were Daenerys's eggs. So I thought that was a little nod to the show. That was pretty cool once you saw it. So I think that next week, I think since they actually titled it early on, this is like going to be one of the big episodes of the series of this season. So definitely come back and check out Dance of the Dragons episode, what is this, 6? I think it's episode 6 of House of the Dragons tomorrow. It premieres tomorrow on HBO, and I think Monday on Max, right? I don't know if it's same day on Max.
Oh, it's on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah, it should be the same day.
Yeah. Okay, so definitely check it out. What the producer said something? What? Oh, it's episode 4. Is it? Just 4?
Yeah, it's only 4.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay, I'm getting the numbers mixed up. But don't put me in the hospital for mixing up some numbers. I'm still competent, unlike what they tried to do to other people. Wink. Okay, so next week we are watching. I've been waiting to talk about it. The Bear, as well as House of the Dragon and the Acolyte. David, say goodnight to the people.
Hey, everybody. Wish you a wonderful week. Fingers crossed that it's a good time. Get some popcorn and enjoy something fun. Put a smile on your face.
All right, Patrick.
Okay,
no,
everybody.
He's frozen.
Nope, I'm unfroze now.
Okay.
Okay. I did see it freeze for just a second. I was like, what the heck? Everybody, I'll see you next week if I can. If I can't, I won't. But hopefully everybody has a great week and go see movies.
And everybody say a prayer for Patrick, because he's our guy. And we want all the best for him. But also, you know what? Don't leave your friends so early. You know, have some loyalty to your friends. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. But come back next week. We'll see you next